Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Tomorrow, it is Codes for Kids Day as BJ and Miggs have teamed up with the Washington State Council firefighters in Operation Warm this holiday season to put new coats on kids that are in need here in Washington State. $20. $20 puts a brand new coat on a Washington State child in need. And by the way, tomorrow on Taylor Driving School and UMass Global, they will be matching donations up to $1,000 each. Codes for Kids Day brought to you by our friends at Palace Law. We're going to play the KISW holiday song, Father Christmas, and the Green Bean song. And that's all we're going to play all day tomorrow.
Until we hit our goal.
Until we hit our goal. We might even take calls.
And it's mean. It's awful.
We might just play it over and over again.
Yeah, we don't care.
Until we hit our mark. Until we get enough money. Put a new coat on a kid in need of Washington State. We might even take commercial breaks. We might just play those two tunes over and over and over again.
Back to back.
Until we get enough money to help out the kids in need. Codes for Kids Day tomorrow, presented by KISW and Palace Law. All right, it is our random question. 206-421-ROCK.
You asked a little while ago, who would you like to have sex with virtually? Mm-hmm. Right, remember this is apparently on Cyberpunk 2077 or something like that. The Keanu Reeves looking avatar people are having sex with. All right, well, people they're now telling us everyone they want to have sex with. There's Rose McGowan, Jennifer Connelly. I'm right there with Jennifer Connelly. Kate Beckinsale. Oh, what do we have? Jessica Alba, one of the strong. Someone says, how did Jennifer Tilly not make this conversation? Well, now she just did. Penelope Cruz, Sofia Vergara, and Eva Mendes. I think they might have a type. But then someone posed this question, all right? They say, an important question must be asked. Would you rather have sex with Stephanie Courtney or Milana Vaintrub? And now you're wondering who those people are. You know them as Flo from Progressive and the AT&T chick. I'm taking AT&T chick personally.
Correct. I'm taking the chick that does the Toyota commercials.
Okay, I know. Her? Really?
Yeah, yep.
No, I mean, look,
yep.
I dig it. You can throw it into the mix there.
Yep.
That's,
I'm taking her.
Really? She's the one. She's the one to get you.
Yep.
I always thought, like, when AT&T commercials first came out, I'm like, that chick is hot, man. Never said anything, and then I think I said something once, and every dude was like, oh, yeah, absolutely.
For real.
Yeah, she's a smoke show. What's that chick's name from Toyota? Because she's like a comedian or something in real life. I can't remember.
I don't know. Just kind of think she's kind of hot.
She's kind of hot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'd buy a Toyota from her.
Someone else says Betty White. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
At any age.
Would you not be shocked, though, to find out what some of these people are really, really good at as far as their sexual rankings are concerned?
Okay, so you get the chick from Toyota, her virtual, the avatar shows up, you get the chance, and as you go through your EA Sports rankings of her abilities, what do you think she would excel at?
I mean,
it's not just sex, but like, what do you think? Do you think she's kinky? Do you think she's...
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Like a back door? You think she likes...
I think it's, whatever you want on the table.
Okay. All right. I think I can modify that. Wow. That's a good picture of her.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
She's not ugly.
No, she is not ugly.
Yeah, still sticking with AT&T.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
I'm right there with you. Sorry, Flo. Hello, Jess. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hello,
Jess, are you there? Hello.
Is this on our end or? Oh, there we are.
Okay, Jess. Hola. How are you?
Sorry, I was on mute for a second. My bad.
Okay.
Problematic on the phone.
Jess, let's see here. I think this will be a good one for you. What did you love that you cannot get anymore? What did you used to have a fondness for and it really just doesn't exist anymore?
Oh, man, that's such a loaded question that this might sound nerdy, but back in the day, so I was born in 85, and Nickelodeon used to have all these cool things like toys, I don't know if you guys remember, it was like this foam stuff that had like styrofoam beads in it. I think it was called Gack or something like that. It was just
Gack,
Gack?
Yeah.
It was called...
all these old school toys.
She described it perfectly. It was basically just slime, and it had little styrofoam beads in it.
Yes.
It was like kinetic sand before it came out.
Right.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Do you think you could Google it and see if it still exists somewhere?
Well, fancy that. I actually have Googled some of the vintage stuff that I used to like, trying to, find it for like my nieces and nephews that are pretty young. And when you find that stuff, if you can, it's all vintage now and it's way overpriced, and it's meant to be a toy. Like, I don't want to spend $200 on something that I got for $5 when I was a kid.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, it just depends on that
for someone else's kid.
Depends on the availability. There's tons of toys from growing up that I would love to have just a few hours with. You know what I mean? There was they used to have Coleco used to have basically a pocket little video game, right?
Was it a football game with the red dot?
Yeah. They had basketball. They had hockey, which was basically the same as football, but with a different court.
Right.
Then they had head-to-head, where you could play against somebody else on one little machine. But I'd love to I know it was remedial and stupid, but you could pass in, like, the Pro Football 2 version of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember.
So,
just kids got in trouble in school because they tried to play it under their desk, and teachers would lose their minds.
Just to see that
hear
again.
it. But even when I was a kid, we used to get a new one. It seemed like every Christmas, and that was always the thing.
Because they last about a year.
Right, and we'd have to play it in the car on the way to Grandma's house.
Yeah, I'd like to have that. As far as food goes, now I know it's more just geographically where we are located, but I do really enjoy a cup of Dunkin' Donuts coffee and one of their bagels.
Yeah.
Anytime when I'm in an area where I see a Dunkin' Donuts, I'm like, you know what? I got to go to Dunkin' Donuts and get a coffee. Even in Vegas, I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts just to get a coffee. I hadn't had a coffee in 2 or 3 days, but I'm like, I'm getting a cup of coffee. It was freaking delicious.
So basically anywhere but here.
Well, anywhere where you like...
Right, state of Washington.
Yeah,
Dunkin's pretty ubiquitous.
Yeah, but...
My kids, they discovered was it 2019, Christmas 2019, and we took them to the East Coast for Christmas. There's a Dunkin' Donuts a little ways up from the in-laws, right? So I'm saying to my kid, I'm like, hey, man, you want to walk with me to Dunkin' Donuts? Not really. I'm like, well, I wasn't really asking. Come on. We walked up there, man. His world changed because of the breakfast sandwiches, the donuts, just because he had never had them, right? He's like Krispy Kreme and all the crap around here, right? My man tried Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, literally, his life changed. And then he was so depressed when I'm like, well, we don't have Dunkin' Donuts back in Seattle, man. It's like, why not? I'm like, I honestly do not know. I really don't know why. But he's like, this is the greatest spot ever. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I end up going to one when I'm in Maryland because there's literally a drive-through one, like, right by one of my family members. It's like the next day when I'm leaving their house, it's like, well, it's right there.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Absolutely.
Donuts are good as well.
Every morning, get up,
exactly.
walk, and get donuts.
By the way, we lost all our callers there for whatever reason on a random question. 206-421-ROCK. The reason we asked... Yes.
Someone here brought up my personal favorite toy from childhood, the Evel Knievel wind-up stunt bike.
That was a great toy.
I loved that goddamn thing, man.
There were so many dumb little toys that we played with that were entertaining. The backdoor Nerf basketball hoop. Probably gave me more enjoyment.
Right.
I had one for the back of my door. I put on my closet in my room. I also had one that had suction cups on it, and I would practice with that in the shower because you could, you know what I mean. You could put it on a window or put it on whatever. But I thought those things were like, I mean, universally, you're not going to break anything. You could play hoops. You could also dunk.
That was always the thing. Right?
It brought all those
to spring off of your bed and come slamming down on top of that thing.
They did have one that was a little bit bigger. That was actually on a stand. I don't know if you guys remember that, with a breakaway rim on it. For a while,
I think I had one of those in our basement.
My kid had one for a while, yeah. And actually, it got passed down to someone else who has since had a kid, and I'm like, this is perfect for
it.
Yeah,
it is. Even the dumbass electric football game that made absolutely no sense.
On the vibrating table.
Or the vibrating table.
You could not control anything that your players did. I mean, you put the pieces that look like football players on a big metal vibrating table, and basically it would vibrate, and your you're trying to go down the field, but I mean, they just kind of went in every direction. And
yeah, and to tell
That was
you,
always my kind of issue with that game.
yeah, my brother played it all the time, and I'm like, dude, you can't control anything that's going on. I mean, they're just vibrating.
the racetrack games where you
Love
basically-
those.
Yep,
The
they were
electric
great.
cars.
especially when they figured out how to bank the corners of the track so that the cars would stay on a little bit better. And granted, you had to have a very steady hand on the trigger.
You have to be very good at the trigger. When you hit the straightaway, you can gun it, but you knew when you got near the turns,
You gotta
ease
slow
up,
down. You
man.
gotta slow down.
God, yeah.
Reason we asked, what did you love that you can't get anymore? Coca-Cola CEO James Quincy, 25-year veteran of the company, he's been hearing it from the disgruntled niche beverage fans. I got a lot of emails about Tab, he told CNN Business. The complaints follow a striking decision Quincy made last year to slash the company's portfolio of products in half, killing beloved brands like the diet drink Tab, the smoothie brand Odwalla, and Zico coconut water in the process. Overall, about 200 brands were on the chopping block. Quincy even heard about fans who held funerals for their dearly departed favorites. He said, quote, that had to be a first in my career. No one knows better, they say, than Coca-Cola that messing with fan favorites has consequences. When the company tried to change Coke's formula in 1985, customers were so distraught that the company quickly reversed course. The famed New Coke debacle proved that loyal customers were not to be messed with.
But there's always this theory, and I don't know if it's true, that they did it intentionally, knowing people because their sales were sagging or something like this. So they introduced the new Coke. People absolutely freaked out, and I'm old enough to remember the absolute national freak out about the fact that Coca-Cola tasted different. Then they went back to Coca-Cola, calling it Coca-Cola Classic, and the sales went through the roof.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember it too. It was a massive deal.
Oh, people, like my parents, like super angry. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm like, this is $1 billion company, man. I think they know. No, this is crap.
And it comes down to basically what you think it does. In the end, it's a Darwinian struggle for space in the supermarket or in the convenience store. The retailer wants to make as many dollars as possible it can for each spot on the shelf. If a brand, even a beloved one, sells a fraction of what the other bottles will sell, eventually they'll pull it out and put something else.
Random.
By the way, somebody brought up Stretch Armstrong. Never got one. Don't want to talk about it. Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
All right, Justin, let's see here. How about this one? What bit you? Justin, what bit you?
What? Oh, God, let's see here. Well, my kid not too long ago, that was quite fun.
Why did your kid bite you? What was the situation?
So he's a 2-year-old, and he got something in his mouth. I don't know if you ever tried to pull something out of a 2-year-old's mouth, but it's like a bear trap.
Like a dog?
What did he have in there?
He had a little, freaking like, what was it? Like a toy cow.
Ah, okay. Yeah, well, at that age, kids have this one belief. If it can fit in my mouth, I must eat it. And that's it.
Yeah, no, it's like, if you ever hear your kid being quiet, you better go check on him real quick, because there's something in his mouth.
I learned that lesson myself, man. And every time the kids were at that age, when they were super quiet, every time I went to check why they were quiet, the response was always, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
Every single
I'll tell
time.
you what I think is interesting about a 2-year-old. And they do know their parents in basic things.
Yeah.
But if you ever played with someone else's 2-year-old kid, they're kind of fun to play with in a weird way.
Sure.
But at the same point in time, you realize this person right now, like you have a forgetful memory sometimes of just things or why'd I walk in this room, whatever. Like every single day of their life, they'll never remember.
Yeah.
I mean, they will never remember any of it. Any toy, any trip, any vacation.
This
any
has
item
been
of
my
clothes.
argument
I mean,
for years.
absolutely nothing is retained at that age.
Like the kid's
It's not that
first
you're
Christmas.
not learning, but you're not retaining anything.
But you don't remember anything. So at the first Christmas, all these people are buying all these expensive ass gifts for my daughter. And I was like, you can buy her a head of lettuce. She doesn't know. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying.
Why are you spending all of this money? They don't appreciate it. You know what I mean? They don't know. It doesn't matter. And frankly, as you discovered, Mike, the box is the gift.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, people always say that. I thought it was more of an old wives' tale, but you get your kids whatever gifts, and they look at the gift, play with it for 5 minutes, and they spent the rest of the day in the goddamn box.
They're like cats, man.
Right.
Whatever you buy them, they don't care. They find their toys.
Right.
What's the last thing that bit you, Mike?
Last thing that bit me, probably my cat.
Yeah, my cat, he tore me up. That cat was, the last thing that bit me that really still messed up is that spider in Eastern Washington. I still have a mark and my skin won't heal up from that damn spider.
And you're still not a superhero.
So weird, man. It's like it's still just sitting there. I don't know what the hell it is.
Mine was just play biting.
You want to get that looked at.
I know, whatever. I mean, I can still move my hand. I can still masturbate. What's the last thing that's all that cares? What's the last thing that bit you?
It's a good question. Probably, mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Okay. Steve?
I think my cat, probably.
Your cat bites?
No, but it's like Mike said, it's the play biting. So, there's something about cats, right? You can stroke their... And keep in mind, you climbed in my lap. I'm just trying to watch football, but you insist I'm sitting on my lap while I do it. Okay, fine. I'll pet your head since you keep crying about it. And then you rolled over onto your back, indicating to me that I should rub your belly. I did not know that it was a setup, that the moment I touch your belly, all four paws are around your hand, and then I realized my hand is in the cat's mouth. And it didn't tear me up, but I'm like, well, what are we doing, man? If you don't want to rub your belly, stop showing me the belly, dumbass.
Total setup, dude.
Yeah. Reason we asked what bit you, this is a crazy story. A British man saw a pack of about 20 otters on a nearby path at the Singapore Botanical Gardens in late November. What happened next? Nearly killed him. Graham George Spencer says the group went crazy after a runner using the same path as the animals approached them. He tells local media outlet that the otters went from being quiet to going crazy like dogs. Well, the runner, he managed to run off. And Spencer says the otters then turned on him.
By the way, Mike, can you pull up audio of an angry otter?
Biting
I have no idea what they sound like if they're pissed.
Bit him 26 times in 10 seconds.
Jesus.
He says he sustained injuries to his ankles, legs, one finger, and buttocks. A friend who was with Spencer was about 15 paces away. He was unscathed and made noise in a bid to scare the creatures off. If it wasn't for my friend, I don't think I'd still be here. I'd be dead, he said. Noting the otters let up on the attack momentarily, giving him time to get back on his feet. Spencer, who's in his 60s, was treated at a nearby
Wait, they took him down?
Yeah.
Jesus.
They went to the hospital for treatment. He said he had to make a number of subsequent hospital trips. His medical costs have already totaled over $1,200. He says that while he's been taking daily walks to the park for 5 months, the November 30th incident marked the first time he'd ever seen otters. Guardian reports that Singapore is thought to be home to about 90 otters who are organized into 10 different families. Otters, even though they attack, it is rare. Although this year alone, they have attacked people in Alaska and in Florida, which seems like an odd geographical range for the otter.
They're down with any weather, I guess, man.
Apparently
it's not that rare. Do we know what an angry otter sounds like?
All I can get here, it just sounds like an otter. There's nothing particularly angry about it. It says that it's angry.
That's an otter?
They're very squeaky.
26 bites in 10 seconds.
That is unreal, man. That would terrify the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Otters just look cute. But other than that, they just don't seem like great animals.
Is this not the human condition? We assume that if we think it's cute, it's fine.
Pretty
like
much.
A sea lion. Oh, it's so cute. It's like, right, it'll rip your goddamn eyeballs out and pull you into the freaking water.
The
man.
very first Red Fest that I ever took part in, I met a listener that's a varmint trapper, and I talked about the different animals that he caught. And I said, what's the worst one? He says, hands down, otters, and it shocked me.
Really?
It threw me off. He says, otters are just water wolverines. They suck. They absolutely suck.
More of the random question coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
This Father's Day, refresh Dad's tool collection with the sweetest brands like Cobalt at Lowe's. Right now, you can buy one select Cobalt 24-volt max kit and get one select Cobalt Bear tool free, up to a $139 value. The gift of powering Dad's summer projects is priceless. Shop Lowe's in-store or online today to make it happen. While supplies last, valid 5/2 through 7/31.
99.9 KISW. The men's room is in progress.
Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up, categories include obese states and the best holidays. We'll do a little Your Guess is as good as mine right after emails on our random question. 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Katie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. Katie, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see here. All right, Katie. What have you confessed to, or what has someone confessed to you?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Never heard any good confessions before?
Yeah, but I have that, closed door policy that,
Right.
what is said does not escape my lips.
So, for example, well, think about it this way. I work with a lot of different people in radio. I know one person that I've worked with before in radio, and I believe that he is Eskimo Brothers with one of the members of Great White or somebody like that.
Oh, yeah, I know this person. I can't remember the band.
Yeah, the band. Not that it's just not a moment to be proud of. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey.
I know one guy who does not know that he is Eskimo Brothers with the bass player from... Who was the band?
Oh, Papa Roach.
Papa Roach, that's right, yeah.
Yes.
We know he's Eskimo Brothers, but he doesn't know.
Okay, I have one.
All right.
While in college, I had a friend of mine confess that, and this person was married at the time, she had an affair, and her husband did not know, and I knew, and it was really awkward because I saw them as a couple all the time. So
right.
That was the only confession I can think of.
Did you know the person that she had an affair with?
No.
Okay, well, that probably made it a little bit easier.
Sure.
But it's not easy when you know the husband very well.
Yes, and he was the nicest guy. I mean, worshipped her, thought she was amazing, and, I think it was a drunken night, and she definitely regretted it.
I mean, look, I think we've all been through something like that in our lifetime. A lot of people have not. Mm-hmm. But I think even if you don't know that you have, you probably have. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like anything else. I mean, people make mistakes in life. Sometimes people would say, like, it wasn't a mistake, I wasn't happy, whatever the deal was.
Sure.
But either way, I just think there's no way you're batting 100 on dating people in your lifetime who have not been promiscuous.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, you go through all the different people you've dated.
I mean,
depending on who you've dated, but... It's inevitable, right?
Absolutely.
Especially in your early 20s. I feel like that is...
I think it would be impossible for that not to have happened to you at least once in your lifetime. Whether you know it or not.
Right.
I'm just saying from the number standpoint. I just don't see... I mean, even if you were high school sweethearts and have been married, for 30 years or whatever, and you're supposedly the only two people that each one has ever been with before, I still call bullcrap.
Right.
I do. I'm sorry. I think at some point in time, somebody in that relationship.
Certainly in your younger days. I mean, because usually if someone broke up with you in your younger days, a lot of the time, by the time you had the conversation, like, hey, you're like 22 years old, and they're breaking up with you, it's not like they just didn't want to be with you anymore. They were already with the person. And they're like, wait, what? I mean, like... Yeah, I'm dating so-and-so now. Like, I thought that we were dating. We were, but then I started dating so-and-so. Like, okay. Yeah, damn.
I have a friend that, a relative, so he's been going out with this girl for a number of years, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he got a new job in a different state, and the job was not going to start for like 3 or 4 weeks, we'll say, all right? Well, his girlfriend, fiance, whatever... she also got a job there. So she went out when they were looking for an apartment or whatever. Mm-hmm. She found a gig, and her gig started like 2 weeks earlier than his. So she moved out earlier. She's like, look, I'll take a lot of our stuff.
Right.
I'll move us in for the most part into our apartment. You know what I'm saying? You bring the rest of the stuff. I'll see you 2 weeks later. So by the time that he gets there, she's already effing the bartender.
Jesus.
At the bar, like right down the road from, like where they were living. You know what I mean? Like, and he's like, I got a little suspicious, and you go in the bar and there's just this kind of weird vibe. And then all of a sudden it was like, now we shouldn't go to that bar anymore. It's like, it was the only bar.
Right.
It was like, it was the only good bar. Like, why wouldn't we go there? What the hell's the deal?
Can't go anymore.
Right. Why? The reason we asked, what have you confessed to, or what has someone confessed to you? It says, we all have our own secrets, but there are certainly some whose secrets are much darker than others. And that's where this woman known as Nurse JJ kind of started telling her stories on TikTok. Most notably, she's gone viral for revealing some of the most jaw-dropping deathbed confessions that she claims to have heard while working, including murder, kidnapping, and leading a double life. Nurse JJ helps people a lot of times at the end of their life.
Sure.
So,
or she's a really bad nurse.
Unsurprisingly, some of the confessions they say are downright terrifying. And she said she wishes some people had just taken their secrets to the grave instead of telling her, as she now has to live with it. In one clip, the nurse, who is not bad on the eyes at all, shares how one patient confessed that he killed his neighbor because of where that guy wanted to put his fence.
Jesus.
While she claims someone else told her that they believed their uncle had been involved in a missing persons case. She quotes a patient in the video saying, "This girl went missing 30 years ago. I think my uncle took her. The sweater in her missing poster, that was in his garbage."
Whoa.
And she explains how another person on their deathbed was a prisoner who said they had taken the fall for their wife after she killed the woman that he had cheated on her with.
Damn.
As he felt guilty. Some of the other confessions were still bizarre, but thankfully weren't so quite scary. One patient said that I was a hairdresser for 20 years. I kept all of the donated hair to knit blankets with.
Oh.
Another user reportedly told her how they've been stealing money from their blind friend. A sixth admitted to having two families and shared that they were worried about who would turn up at their funeral when they died. After sharing the first 18 confessions that I posted, things that patients have told me, I can't speak to their origin, whether they came from a place of hospital delirium, truth, anger, I'm not sure. But I do know that all of these 18 affected me in a very negative way, and sharing them with you guys actually helps me a lot. So people were divided over some of the confessions, whether you should take that to the authorities or not. But either way, she's like,
well, if they're dead...
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, maybe you go to it depends if you say who you murdered, right? You can say, in case this is still a cold case, still an open case, this person confessed to killing them. But otherwise, what? They're dead.
Mm-hmm. I just say, sometimes, too, confessions from people, I'm just I don't want to know.
No.
Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
I say that to a lot of people. I'm I don't want to know. Because based on the little bit you've already told me, when the FBI knocks on my door, I want to be able to tell them legitimately, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Or when you show up on 60 Minutes or whatever it is, I want to be as surprised as everyone else. Do not tell me this.
Right. Sometimes it's it's not murder, but it's just look, I know both of y'all. Whatever you do is your business. I just don't want to know.
That's it. That is it. And if I don't know, I have nothing to say about it. Hello, Daniel. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Daniel, welcome to the program. Random question. Daniel, you are the perfect person for this question. Matter of fact, I've been saving it just for you in case you called.
I knew you were.
What is the most embarrassing poop that you have ever taken or took or left?
The most embarrassing poop. I mean, the first ones that comes to mind, just, being at other people's houses and then,
yep,
friends following you in there.
Okay.
It's a horrible moment.
Yeah, I mean, but as far as the most embarrassing, I mean, luckily it hasn't been with a day or anything, so I guess just family, so I could just laugh about it. So
okay. How old are you?
No, I am 29.
Okay, you're still in that range where you can control where you go to the bathroom. So you haven't had the worst one yet. Yes. But you will.
It's coming.
It's coming because I don't know when that line is in your life where that's not a fart. But before that, it was always a fart.
Yeah, you knew it was a fart.
You knew it was a fart. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then at some point in time, there's this paradigm. I don't know what the hell happens. Everything the switch is different. The circuitry is not the same. I can't explain how you lose control of this.
It's your brain gets lazy of clearly alerting you to what it is. Right. And you just know there's something going on with your butt. Now, normally it says, this is just a fart. Go ahead and fart. If you got to poop, you know you got to poop. But now your brain's kind of you got to do something. I'm not sure. How many times have you gone to this work bathroom? We've all done it. Going, look, I think I have to fart. But I'm not going to the bathroom to fart.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I'm not sure. And then other times, I think I need to poop. I go into the bathroom, and all I did was fart. And I'm like, just give me a heads up. It doesn't matter which one, but like, don't mix this up, man.
And it's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. Look, I fart all night long when I'm sleeping. All right?
Yeah.
Never once have I slipped on a fart when I am not conscious.
Right. When you're unconscious,
when your body knows what it's doing without you thinking about it or using your brain, it's perfectly functional. Your brain works fine if you're not using it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, your body knows. I've never slipped on one in the middle of the night. I've never woken up and had to change the sheets because what I thought was a fart was not a fart. It only happens when you are conscious, which means this is a decision that you are making.
Because when you're conscious, right, you're like, screw it. I think I'll be okay.
That's serious. And you're wrong. That's what I'm saying.
So basically, if you don't interact with your own brain, your brain says, I've got this.
I got this.
I will wake you up, or you will have a dream that you're about to poop just to wake you up so that you will go poop.
You've had those moments where you've woken up in the middle of the night, I got to use the bathroom. But never once did you think you were going to slip on a fart. It doesn't happen.
I've never woken up with a turd in the bed.
Right.
Like, oh, did I do that?
How did that get here? Never. Not even when I was drunk.
Whose is this?
Passed out? Nothing. Your brain knows how to use your body. It's when you use your brain that messes everything up.
Dude, last time I did it, I was just sitting at home. And, like, I knew better. And luckily I was home already from work. But I just was like, I'll risk it. And I was like, and I just crap myself.
That's what I'm saying. He hasn't gotten there yet. 29, that switch has not flipped yet. You're too young for that. Reese Mansman is the most embarrassing poop you ever took. A Florida inmate charged with assaulting his roommate told cops that the victim, quote, farts too much, stinking out the cell, and fails to give a courtesy flush after using the shared toilet, according to an arrest report. Investigators allege that Christopher Callan pummeled Amando Dominguez during a confrontation inside their cell at a detention center in Key West, Florida. He's been jailed since his arrest in late September for failing to register as a sex offender with Florida officials. The other guy was locked up on $40,000 bond. He's been in custody since February. He was arrested for aggravated battery and indecent exposure. Well, during an interview at the hospital emergency room, he said that he was cleaning the toilet when Callan grabbed him by the shirt and began punching him in the face and ribs. The cops noted he stated no idea why he was being attacked out of the blue and that it seemed random. The attack left him with 2 missing teeth, a broken rib, and swollen and bruised lips and a left orbital socket. When questioned by cops, Callan, whose knuckles and hands were red, appeared to provide a motive for the assault, complaining about the cellmate's flatulence and toilet habits. He also complained that he speaks weird languages. Callan was charged yesterday with aggravated battery by an inmate. That's a felony, for which he's scheduled to be arraigned here at the end of the month. And a judge has ordered them to have no contact with each other, so they are no longer cellmates.
I think that's probably a good idea. You might want to separate them. Someone there, as far as pooping yourself, someone goes, man, I have IBS. I've essed my pants on numerous occasions. It is awful. Thank you for adding that it's awful. Because I didn't know that pooping your pants was a bad thing. And someone else says the reason you don't poop your pants while you fart in your sleep is because of the fart reflex syndrome, which is actually called the gastrocolic reflex. And it's a very complicated read, but basically kind of says what you're saying, Miles. Just like, hey, when you're asleep, your brain's like, got this.
Yeah.
Got it. So
like, you don't think about breathing. There's all kinds of things that you do at night. You know what I mean? That you don't really put, not that you think about breathing during the day, but you know if you don't have any oxygen. At night when you're sleeping, your body kind of just takes care of itself, you know?
Someone else here says, I've asked the bed, age 30, no colon for 14 years. It's lame.
Ooh.
As happens. That's fair enough. And for Christ's sake, Miles, you made me slip on one while I was laughing. Have a great day, gentlemen. That from Adam.
Yeah.
Random.
See?
Random,
don't think about it.
Oh, that was funny. Hello, Becca. Welcome to the men's room.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hola.
Becca, welcome to the program. Random question. Becca, let's see here. Becca, what did you steal or what was stolen from you? Can you handle that one?
Oh, my goodness, I can.
Okay.
So it was about a month ago, and I was buying some grapes for my nephew's birthday party, and I was at the self-checkout at Walmart, and I didn't realize that the bag of grapes had to be weighed, so I just scanned them and put them in my bag, and ended up stealing a bunch of grapes.
So you were a great...
very exciting
No, but you
story,
stole them.
But wait.
I did. I stole the grapes.
It doesn't set off any alarm or anything?
No, so that was the weird part, is when I put the grapes in the bag, it didn't, like, register that there was something wrong with the weight. So I didn't really realize that I had stolen them until I got in the car.
So you're an accidental thief, but you realize how many people are going to start stealing grapes from Walmart now?
Oh, you know,
I'm just saying, if it doesn't set off an alarm, that's all I need. If I could walk out of Costco with a new TV, it doesn't set off the alarm, like, I'm doing that.
Well, now you know you can steal grapes from Walmart.
Has anyone ever stolen anything from you?
Not from me directly, but a few years ago, I was living at my mom's place, and we actually had somebody break into our house in the middle of the night while we were all sleeping.
Okay.
Damn.
And,
well,
yeah,
did you wake up while they were there, or did you wake up the next morning and realize they had already been there?
We woke up the next morning and realized they had already been there. It ended up being one of our roommates' quote-unquote friends. So,
All right.
It was very unsettling, but...
Well, you know... That's one of the reasons I don't want to put a Ring camera in. I don't want to know what I'm going to see because I have to chain my barbecue grill down.
Right.
I chained my scooter down because I had one of those stolen right in front of my door.
Yep.
So
where you live, dude, I think you would just see a lot of public urination.
If you leave anything out that's unchained, like the restaurants will put out a table or something like that, it's gone in the morning.
Oh yeah.
They'll put an Adirondack chair out or something like that. You know what I mean? Pandemic stuff or whatever they have outside, it's gone. And I know where to go get it. It's down by the canal.
Of course.
You know, you know where it's going. It's just a matter of it's going to be stolen. If you leave it outside in the city, someone will take it. This is my... Just to give you an idea, this is so stupid. I don't even understand it. This is my third garden hose.
They're stealing your garden hose.
Why the hose?
I don't know. That's what I keep saying. Like, why the garden hose?
Because they can.
Because it's there? Because it's out in my yard, maybe? I don't know. Like,
probably just because it's there.
I'd rather you take a shower in my front yard with a damn thing than steal the hose.
Than steal the hose, sure.
Dude, when I moved back up to Capitol Hill, I had a Miller Lite camping chair. I was like, it was the first weekend I was there. I was like, it'll be all right. It was gone the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's on me.
It's amazing.
It is not on you.
I know, but I knew better. I was like, I shouldn't leave this out here.
And you were right. But again, so it's not really on you to hope that people are decent. You just know better than thinking that everyone's decent.
I'll come home sometimes and there's like a stash of clothes in the chair in my front yard.
So are they like changing there or something?
Changing, keeping their clothes in that area because, the way the chair sits, it goes underneath the table. So maybe in the event that it would rain, it would stay dry. But
they still recognize, this is someone's house.
Yes, but that's just...
As evidenced by the fact that it's a house.
That's just where they stash their stuff. I've seen all kinds of stuff stashed in my yard before, which is just weird. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's why I don't want the Ring camera. I don't want to know. Right. I don't want to look at my phone with some alert and go, what is this guy doing?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You don't want to
This
know.
is not worth...
Not where you live.
This is not worth my day. You know what I mean? To go through, worrying, is this guy going to do anything else to my house? I'd rather just not know. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather get home and figure it out.
I would be interested.
To see what happens on your Ring cam?
Well, to see what happens on yours. Just Friday and Saturday night, just the drunk people walking by has got to be crazy.
No, it's not more than that. It's just the way that my house is situated and the way that the fence is. My house is a toilet for anybody.
Yes, it is. It is the public toilet.
For a living, and I'm not going to specify who drives what. It's just, if you're out there and you don't really have a public bathroom, which the pandemic really, made it a little bit worse, then my spot was pretty well a pretty good ideal place to duck in and use the bathroom.
I would at least use the alley between your house and the building next to it.
And that is another option. I've seen that too, because I've been upstairs smoking and looked down like, oh my God, he just ran right down there and peed and ran out. You know what I mean? I'm like, what in the hell is that? So the Ringers, we asked, what did you steal or what was stolen from you? Last Monday, 3 thieves broke into a business in Altamont Springs, Florida. That's just outside of Orlando. And they stole around $13,000 worth of wigs.
Come on.
It was a shop called Sassy Sisters Boutique. Now, the owners say the thieves smashed the front door, ransacked the place, got away with around 34 wigs. But those 34 wigs were valued at $13,000.
Oh, my God.
They also stole a cash register, but apparently they couldn't access anything inside because it was later found nearby and no cash was taken. Thieves were caught on camera.
Man.
They appeared to be masked men. It's unclear if they were what they're actually after, the wigs, or if they had another motive. Either way, they're still on the run. And police don't have any suspects yet. And with all the wigs, they have a built-in disguise, as they say. So either way.
$13,000 in wigs, and it's only $34.
$34. I did not know wigs cost that much money.
Neither did I.
It's a nice boutique.
Should we take one last caller for
one
the
last,
year?
one last
this
random.
Is it for 2021.
Random.
On the random question.
Hello, Ricardo. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Ricardo.
Oh, no. That is so apropos.
Okay. Well,
very last random question. Call of the year. All that hard work. All those additional stories we pulled, all for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What was it going to be, Miles?
Good or bad, what is something unique that your body can do? Is that the story of a man who poops out of his penis due to a rare condition?
No way. He also ejaculates from his rectum.
Yeah.
This is not a joke.
Right,
Something switched up in his body.
Thanks, Ricardo, for hanging up, or we'd have had that.
Could have been a good one.
Your guess is as good as mine. The categories include obese states and the best holidays. You are listening to The Men's Room.
The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors have the expertise to find exactly what you need and the ethics to do the right thing, even when it's the harder thing. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.